So in this segment, we're going to be discussing more kind of Tory sleaze. I kind of missed the boat on the led by donkey stuff, but I wanted to cover at least some of it. And so this is pretty egregious. I think this is the worst one out of the lot of the MPs who are basically caught out. And so this was done by, I think it's the Times. Yeah, it's the Times, and so credit to them for actually doing some good work here. Decent investigative journalists. So let's have a look.
We vote in House Commons 2 or 3 times a day. The Minister has to pass you, and then you've got 10 minutes while you walk around to the next vote to have his ear.
So what he's saying is he's gonna, the situation is that MPs can go up to ministers and just kind of bug them up until the next vote, so they can talk about whatever they want really. And so he's saying that's his opportunity for bugging a relevant minister as to what certain lobbyists might want him to do.
There's written questions as well, where we can table things on the public record and get an instant response within 5 working days.
So that screams to me the cash for questions scandal, where that was a big thing I think under John Major, where certain MPs were paid money to ask certain questions in Parliament, which you're not allowed to do. So I do wonder, was he kind of insinuating that if you want certain things being asked in the House of Commons, I can get you an answer within 5 working days. That's what it felt like. But it's more an insinuation rather than anything else. So you got to read between the lines, I think, on that one.
And thirdly, we have access to papers and information which PR companies will.
And so by having access to certain papers, they can find out kind of government analysis or civil servant analysis really easily and kind of combat those early on rather than being caught out, and they can have access to specific papers and advice that ministers might have gotten. So what he's saying there is pretty dodgy.
The government is carrying out a major review of gambling laws for the first time since 2005. We set up a fake company and approached several MPs saying we were looking to hire a politician as a paid expert advisor. During the 70-minute meeting, Benson had repeatedly outlined how he was willing to take actions which would break parliamentary rules.
And the other thing you gotta realise is that he's being hired as a paid expert on betting. What are his credentials for being a paid expert? That's the other question. What are his credentials? What does he know about the betting industry that someone else would not know? And so that screams corruption, in my opinion. Where this guy, what does he know? Has he worked in the bookies? Did he have any managerial experience? Did he, how much industry experience does he have? I don't think he's got much.
Rules.
No, Benson did realise something dodgy was going on, so he kind of self-referred himself to the relevant parliamentary committees. But I think the most egregious thing he said, he appeared to state he was willing to take actions that would break parliamentary lobbying rules, highlighting a culture where MPs seem to believe that the rules can be easily gamed or just ignored. Commons rules mean that MPs have to disclose hospitality worth more than £300. The Times video hears Benton joking about accepting racing tickets worth £295 to get around the rules. The public should hope that an MP would have the moral compass to reject any money from a gambling company rather than giving it a leg up. And this article from Gina Miller. So I think that any gifts that MPs should receive should be on the public record, and they should be able to find out, how much are these kind of hospitality gifts worth, because for example, if you want to buy, these tickets, if they're worth more than £300, he should have had to declare it, and he should have been flagged for it. And so what you can see here is a situation where a company can just set a price that they want and say, oh, it's below the £300 limit, so they have to declare it. And you have more and more open corruption. this system is so broken. These MPs are very happy to find loopholes in this system, and this geezer here, Scott Benton, is more than happy. Is he more than happy to break the rules here? I wonder if he's worried about his seat in the next election. Is he looking for a new role here? But paid lobbying should not be a thing an MP should be allowed to do. No MP should be a paid lobbyist. You're paid to represent the British people, not some private company's interests. And if you want to be a lobbyist, then leave. Go. Get out of politics. Go be a lobbyist. Go be a scumbag. But honestly, this is just abhorrent, and he seemed very willing to break the rules. And I'm glad the Times did this report, because it shows us that the rot inside Parliament is way worse than we anticipated, or way worse than I thought, especially with stuff like this, them being able to accept gifts just under the £300 limit, and then that being okay to a lot of MPs. And I wonder how many have taken gifts that are under that amount, so they don't have to declare it. Genuinely just mind-boggling. But anyways, I'm going to leave it there. Let me know what you think in the comments below. Like, comment, share, subscribe, support the channel on Patreon if you can, and hopefully I'll see you in the next one.